Good morning to all. So today we are going to discuss about the industrial safety management topic, where we are going to discuss about the management information system, that is MIS. The contents of this presentation is what exactly MIS is, that is management information systems. What are the sources of information? Then what are the types of this MIS? Management of MIS for safety, that is main concern. Then what is compilation, collation and analysis of information related to this MIS. Then how to store and retrieve the information which is related to the safety. Then what are the computer applications and use for storing, compiling, collation and analysis of this information related to the safety. Then what are the advantages and disadvantages of this computerized systems, and hazards controls of working on computers, how to control these hazards, how to control these risks, or what are the precautionary measures related to these computer hazards. Then status and future goals of computer utilization in SHG services. Now MIS is nothing but to manage the information, right? So the system which is going to manage the information. Now we are going to focus the information which is related to the safety only, because in general the general MIS is different, and we are talking about the information system or MIS which is related to the safety only. So it is the information system used for decision making, coordination, control, analysis and visualization of information in an organization. So with the help of this system, anyone can see the information which is related to the specific department, which is related to the overall company, which is related to the comparison or differentiation of a particular department to other department or a particular company to other company, etc. So everyone can see this information to analyze something, to study something, and from that study we can decide the precautionary measures to avoid the repetition of accidents, to improve some specific performance or the efficiency of a particular task, etc. The study of this MIS involves the people, processes and technology in an organizational context. So everyone wants to see, everyone wants to compare, everyone wants to improve in a safety. That is why people's involvement is necessary. So for this purpose, you must have some computerized systems, laptops, desktops, mobiles, etc. Or we must have some networking systems, that may be intranet systems, that may be internet systems, and some media. So on that particular platform, we have to use this MIS system, that is nothing but the technology. And some processes should be defined as far as this MIS is concerned. It means some companies are going to develop their own software for sharing this information, for updating this information, and for sending some messages or alert messages, some time bound activities, etc. with the help of that software. Some companies are using only internet, some companies are using intranet. So some processes should be defined as far as this MIS is concerned. So this is the basic idea of MIS. Then what are the sources of information on safety? Because we are going to manage the information which is related to the safety. We are not talking about the general production or maintenance, purchase, etc. We are talking about only the safety information, right? So where from we must have, or we must get this information which is related to the safety. So there are some offices, some standards, some legal provisions, some websites, some URLs, etc. So these are the different sources where you can get the information on safety, like the Labor Bureau, Shimla, Chandigarh, then Bureau of Indian Standard, that is BIS, Delhi, then some association offices, at Bombay, Calcutta, Cochin, Hyderabad, Madras, then Delhi, Visakhapatnam, etc. Then National Safety Council is there, that is the headquarter at Mumbai, and some other chapters are in other cities, where from you can get the information, where you can get the posters which is related to the safety, then some images, then some guidelines, some books, etc. All can be provided with the help of this National Safety Council. Even some webinars or some programs related to the safety can be organized by this National Safety Council. We can take part into that programs. Even National Safety Council is organizing the safety competitions for the companies, for the regions, for the states, and for the national level also. Then CLI, that is Central Labor Institutes, that is at Bombay. So it is a main agency, it is a college, it is a central government agency where most of the acts and laws are studied by this competent person expertise, which is available at CLI, and some RLI, that is regional labor institutes, are also at Calcutta, Kanpur, Madras, and in other cities. So there are some RLIs, but the main is CLI at Bombay. So from there also you can get the information which is mainly related to the acts and laws, updation in the safety rules and regulations, stringent norms, and some future scope in the India, what exactly is going to do, what are the objectives of the central government, what is the objective at the national level, state level, etc. All can be discussed, decided, and you can get the information from this CLI and DG Fastly people. Then NIH, that is National Institute of Occupational Health, that is at Ahmedabad, from where you can get the different standards, certifications, some norms, some clauses, some guidelines at a national levels. So this is one of the important source after CLI. Then Mahatma Gandhi Labour Institutes, that is also at Ahmedabad, from where you can get the information related to safety. Then Ministry of Environment and Forest, so it is mainly the information source for the environment and acts and rules, some upgradation, amendments, etc. Some rules and regulations, some stringent guidelines can be obtained from this MOEF, that is Ministry of Environment and Forest. So this CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, and MPCB, Maharashtra Pollution Control Board, are finalizing all the rules and regulation under the guidelines of this MOEF, under the guidelines of the notices from this MOEF. Then Safety and Health Information Bureau at Bombay, then Gujarat Safety Councils at Vadodara, Council of Industrial Safety at Bombay, then Safety First Association of India at Bombay, then Director General of Mine Safety, Bihar, Ahmedabad Textile Industries Research Association, that is ATIRA, near Gujarat University, that is at also Ahmedabad. So most of the sources are from the Bombay, Ahmedabad, and some of the cities. So it is possible to get the information directly from these offices, that may be with the help of direct visit, personal communication, or with the help of some courier systems or post. So you can get the information maybe in the form of some booklets, maybe form of in the posters, that may be a signages, that may be guideline brochure, etc. Then some other sources of information. Nowadays, the peoples are techno savvy, internet savvy, and that is why these sources are also important. So nowadays, most of the peoples are not going to use the actual hard copies. They are going to use these soft copies, because nowadays we are using these laptops, computers, mobiles, um, palm top, etc. And that is why these soft copies or soft copy information is very important. So these are some of the websites where you can get the information related to the safety, that is related to the chemical safety, that may be a toxicity information, some hazardous chemical information, then what are the possibilities of fire and explosions, how to prevent that, what are the historical data or the accident cases, etc. All these things are available on the chemical safety websites. Then some rules related to the young workers, and which is going to focus on the health and safety of these young workers. So this website is available, that is youngworkers.org. Then some health and safety information available on the oshu.edu. Then online purchasing of hundreds of safety products. So if you want to purchase some personal protective equipments, if you want to purchase some other equipments which are related to or directly or indirectly related to the safety or industrial hygiene, related to the environment, etc., then you can go through this compliancesafety.com. Then some website like this RCRS, that is risk control rating systems from South Africa, is also useful for the reference purpose. Then safetyinfo.com is also there, which is focusing on the free safety programs, some training materials, safety information for business and industries. So all this information which is related to the safety is available on this safety info. Then Australian website, that is applied safety and risk management, that is applied-safety.com, is also available. So you can go through these all websites. That is the website which is focusing on the ergonomics part. So ergonext.com is also available for this ergonomic part. So ergonomics actually focusing on the diseases or the problems which are related to the gestures, postures, or the wrong movements, or the wrong techniques in industry. So you can get this information, what exactly the ergonomics is, how these ergonomics can be studied with the help of some do's and don'ts. Some studies are also available on these websites. Then online databases of information and downloaded software related to the environment, health and safety. So you can, if you want to use the free softwares, then you can use this website, that is EHS Freeware. And if the softwares are comfortable for you, then you can use these softwares continuously on the basis of this EHS Freeware downloading softwares. Then USA National Safety Council is also there. In India also National Safety Council is there. So this is the National Safety Council for USA. So some stringent norms, stringent guidelines are available in the National Safety Council of USA. So you can follow these guidelines or stringent norms. If your company wants to follow these guidelines, because these are the future guidelines for us, for the developing countries. Then NICOSH website is also available for the information which is related to the occupational safety and health. Then Detronics.com is also available for manufacturers of fire and gas safety systems. So some fire extinguisher systems, fire hydrant systems, or other safety systems like alarm system, detection system, etc. All information is available on the Detronics.com. Then ABSA, that is American Biosafety Association, is the website where you can get the information which is related to the American norms, American guidelines. Then some diseases information is also available on the cdc.gov, that is Centers for Disease Control.com, and then Electrical Safety Forum site. So some norms, acts, and some precautionary measures or safety measures are available on the Electrical Safety Forum website, that is electricalsafety.com. So these are the different sources where you can get the information online or offline. So you can opt the options which is comfortable for you, for your company. Then what exactly the MIS for safety is? So it is, that system is very powerful, especially for the safety, because it is useful tool for the industry, trade, and business in the modern world. It should be user friendly and easy to understand. With the age of computers, we are going to use these laptops, computers, mobiles, etc. Because with the help of these electronic gadgets, we can speed up the work, we can use the capacity speed of that particular electronic gadgets for managing this information, and these gadgets can used to generate the data easily. Then we can design some programs, we can adopt some processes which are available on the websites, which are available uh, through the softwares or through the soft copies. Then we can use these electronic gadgets for controlling and running some robots and microprocessors also. So nowadays we are using this robotics, and some robots can be used for a specific purpose, especially where the hazards are more, or where we want to avoid some manual interventions in the specific department, in the specific operation. So for the using these robots, we can use these computers or laptops or electronic gadgets to control all these robots and microprocessors. Then for the better communications, because we can use the communication media like email, some electronic messaging systems, some intra-message systems, etc., for the better communication and online communications. Then for developing some science, some technologies, new technologies can be adopted with the help of these gadgets. Some new softwares also available. Some softwares are freeware, some softwares are paid, and if you are comfortable, or if it is feasible for your company and management, then you can opt for this newer technologies which are also useful for this safety. So to manage these systems, for analyzing the information, for forecasting, and for personal use also, this MIS is very useful. These computers and some other electronic gadgets are very useful for managing the information for safety. Then the area of SHE, that is safety, health and environment, has also been delighted by this entry of computers and internet, because in the previous days we are using only pen and paper, that is some registers are maintained, that health records are maintained with the help of registers, then some accidents, then some scenes, then some statistical data, some calculations like performance of the company which is related to the safety, that may be a safety indicator, that may be a safety score, that may be a some uh, parameters like frequency index or frequency severity index, etc. So all these calculations had done on the paper only, and it is very difficult to compare the data from the previous records and this year's. But nowadays we can easily compare this data, store this data, retrieve this data with the help of these computers and internet, right? So huge amount of information on accident statistics, health data and environmental aspects can now be easily stored, analyzed and transmitted and used for many purposes. So you can use these computers for calculations, for formula, for some creating some charts, some tables, some graphical data, some other information, or even some softwares also. So we are going to we are also using all these computer systems and some softwares, some programs like MS Office, especially the MS Excel, and some other latest softwares for creating the training program, creating some videos, creating some charts, for utilizing all this data in the meetings, for the awareness, for the training, and for uh, transmitting this information to various peoples in a single click. There should be a effective MIS between safety department and the top management of the company to appraise the work being done by the department. Similarly, it should be also developed for bottom line management and outside authorities to provide quick and tabulated information in wide areas of SHE. So nowadays, this is a really essential requirement, that there should be a effective MIS between the safety department and the top management, so that we can easily give the information to the top management with the help of single click, with the help of these computer systems. That may be through some PDF document, that may be a Word document, that may be a presentation or PPT document, that may be a simple video or GIF, etc. So with the help of single click, the top management also can receive the information, and they can also easily reply or respond on the basis of that particular information. If you want to compare the information with the other companies, with the system concern of the same group, then you can easily send the mail to that particular company. If the data is more, then you can use the pen drive, Google Drive, etc. The different options are also available, and memory size is also available. So depending on the memory size, if the memory is less, the document is very less, then you can use the internet facility. If the documents size is more, then you can use the Google Drives, etc. for sending the information, for receiving the information, for getting the quick reply or the response from the top management also. So this is also useful to communicate with the government authorities. That may be a Department of Industrial Safety and Health, that may be a Maharashtra Pollution Control Board, or some other organizations or standards, that may be a consultant, that may be a third party, or others. Nowadays, even some reports that may be for the working environment monitoring report, that may be a person monitoring report, that may be a health record report. Other reports can also get through the mail or some other facilities, which is very useful and which can quickly transfer this information easily. Now, these are the different types of information for safety. So the information type may be an operational one, that may be a legal, that may be a tactical or strategic. So what exactly the operational? So process control, fire protection systems, inspection reports, test reports, environmental monitoring, training program, all these are nothing but the operations. So whatever the data, whatever the information which is related to the operations are nothing but the operational information for safety, right? So the process is a operational part, that is why the process control parameters is there. In case of any fire emergency, in case of any fire detection systems, in case of any fire extinguishing systems, all these things are operational ones. So during the operations, during the process, if you want to inspect something, if you want to study something, if you want to get some conclusions or the result from some studies, then inspection reports and test reports are also involved. So these are the things which are required during the process, during the operations, and that is why these are the examples of the operational type of information. And likewise, then the second type is legal. So statutory requirement, mandatory requirement, essential requirements. So legal type of information, it is essential type. So some legal reports that may be in terms of some consents, that may be from the Maharashtra Pollution Control Boards or Central Pollution Control Boards, or from the Ministry of Environment and Forest and some other agencies. That may be information in different forms which may be related to the Maharashtra factory rules or some schedules or some different forms which are available in the acts and rules. So these are the legal reports. In some of the cases, some safety audit reports, some safety reports are also mandatory to submit this information to the TISH office. Some concern or some forms should be submitted to the NPCB, and some forms should be submitted to the central agencies also. So all these things are nothing but the legal requirement. Then tactical, so required for immediate need, that is example, procurement of safety equipment, assessing training needs, daily reports, etc. So whatever the techniques, tax you require during the process or before the process or after the process, whatever the trainings needs, so some induction training, so that is before joining the actual job, some trainings are required. So during the job, some trainings are also required, or some guidelines are required, some hands-on practice is required, some mock drills are required, Some daily reports are also required, some weekly reports are required, some monthly reports are required, some quarterly reports are required. So all these informations which is related to the tax and techniques or skills are nothing but the tactical type of information. Then some strategic informations you have to, before finalizing the strategies or finalizing the strategies, you have to plan something. So all this information which is related to the strategic type of planning is nothing but the strategic informations. So some examples like on-site emergency plan, off-site emergency plans, which is related to the MSIHC 1989 rule, and it is essential. So on-site emergency and off-site emergency plans are is the essential, that is legal requirement as well as strategic requirements. So in case of any emergency, in case of any fire, in case of any accident, in case of any major accidents, what should do? So for that purpose, you should collect the information, analyze the information, and uh, give the information to the top management, and you have to wait for the final decision how to decide this strategic plan. So for that basis, you may have to collect the MSDS, that is material safety data sheet for hazardous and toxic chemicals especially. Then you may collect the information which is related to the storage of that particular chemicals, quantity or threshold quantity of that chemicals. Then what are the characteristics of that chemicals which have already stored, used, processed, or as a raw material you can use. So all this information, that may be a boiling point, that may be a melting point, that may be a freezing point, that may be a flammability or inflammability, that may be a explosive index, etc. So all this information which is related to this on-site and off-site emergency planning should collect. So this is nothing but the strategic information type. So these are the different types of information which are directly related to the safety. Now, what exactly the MIS is? So this is the general model. It is not a specific model. So depending on the company's requirement, depending on the size of the company, depending on the type of company, the model may be a different one, but this is a strategic or a general model which can be used as a MIS for safety management systems. So you can understand from this flow chart. This is the identification of necessary for safety. So what exactly you require? So identification of the safety parameters is the initial or the first step, and on the basis of this safety requirement, we have to establish the standards. Suppose if you want to identify the hazards which are present in the different departments, in the different sections, in the premises, etc., then you can identify the risk level of that particular quantity, that particular chemical, particular operation, or particular department or a section. Then on the basis of this information or identification, you have to establish the standards for the safe work performance. So how to improve this safety performance? By establishing the standards. So these standards can be finalizing for that particular company by that company only, or that may be a standard which is can be established or published for that company group, right? So that company people or that group people should follow all these standards. These are not the IS standards. I'm not talking about the IS standards or some OSHA standard, etc. These are the standards can be established with reference to all these national or international standards, but that should be established for that company, for that company group only. Then measurement and comparison of performance. So this is the compliance stage, means after deciding and after following the standards which is decided by the company people only, you can again compare this data that before these standards, what exactly the hazard risk and other parameters are there, what exactly the frequency index, severity index, FSI or safety score and other parameters. With the help of this parameter, you can identify the exact safety performance of your company or a section or a particular plan. Then after following this standard, what exactly the parameters are, and now you can compare this performance or the parameters in this stage. So with the above standards, you can conclude that these standards are good standards, or that maybe there is no difference by using the standards, or there may be a negative performance in the standards. So whatever may be the results and conclusions, we have to draw, and on the basis of this conclusion, you have to work again to evaluate and to improve the performance of your company. Suppose if the standards are not stringent, standards are not going to follow by all the people, so what are the loopholes, what are the negative points, or what are the points which can rectify or can correct? So you have to identify all these points, you have to correct or modify the points or the particular standards or overall standards of the company, and then again you have to try again and can compare again the performance. Then some these corrections, after corrections you can observe the deficiencies again, you have to measure again the parameters, you have to compare again the parameters after modifications or the rectifications in the standards, and after that again you can understand what exactly the growth or the development of this particular stage. If it needed some updation in that particular standard, then you can upgrade or update all these points, or if you want to uh, eliminate all these standards, if you want to make a new program, new standards, then you can also go for that also. So whatever the necessary action you want to use or apply, you can go for that, and again you can identify this necessary for the safety, what are the parameters involved, what are the hazards, risk, and etc. So all these things are in a loop. This is a closed loop cycle, and simultaneously in parallel some other parameters are also required. So the parameter is refining and upgrading existing standards. So whatever the standards, so that may be a simultaneous or a parallel process. Some safety officer or some top management or some middle management people or some expertise, some consultant, some government auditors may give you some suggestions regarding these standards or the refining of the standards. So you have to apply this modification in your standards. This is the parallel action. Then refining systems quality to quantify the results. So simultaneously some other people, some third party people or your whole company people can suggest some of the points which are directly related to the quality and the quantity. So you have to study that suggestions. If the suggestions are valid, then you can modify or rectify your procedures or the steps which are involved under this MIS for SMS. Then refining existing communication systems. So if the communication system is not proper, not comfortable, then you have to opt for the latest communication systems. Suppose if you are using some telephone landlines or some persons who are actually giving the messages or the text or maybe a particular file through the different system or old systems, then you can go for the latest communication systems. That may be a mobile, that may be a internet, that may be a intranet facility, or that may be another systems. So some systems can be adopted for better communication, fast communication, and accurate communications. So this is the overall general model for the MIS of SMS, that is safety management systems. Now we have already discussed about that there should be a effective communication between the top management and safety departments. So this diagram shows the importance of this safety department communications. So these safety department people are the safety and health department, because in some of the cases safety department is a separate department. In some of the companies, EHS or SHE as a department, that may be a safety, health and environment department. In some of the companies, safety and health department is separate and environment department is separate. So depending on the requirement, depending on the size and type of the company, this department may be formed. But the important thing is that you have to communicate all the data, you have to communicate all the modifications, rectifications, or the suggestions for the safety of our people. That should be communicated very quickly, and if the suggestions are valid, that should be implemented or executed in a real-time basis. So these are some of the parameters like new project and planning. So in case of any expansion is there, in case of any new project is arrival in your company, in your, then you have to give that in. That may be a hazard, that may be a risk, that may be a operational risk, that may be a SOPs, that may be some technology, that may be some sophistications, that may be some other changes. So whatever the new project is there, all the parameters should be informed to the safety department, because safety department have already done some processes, some studies like HERA, HAZOP, etc. And after that, if some new project is arrived, then that information should be updated by the safety department, and uh, some other processes should be done, some other studies should be done with the help of the safety and health department for that particular new project and planning. So whenever some changes, some additions are there in the company, that should be communicated to the safety and health department. And after that, after study, after processes or some monitoring systems or some observations, the safety and health department is going to communicate to that particular new project that you can continue your project, you can start your work, but the guidelines and some suggestions are like that, right? Then fire departments. So it is the main department which is always should be touched in the with the safety and health department, because fire is the main hazard in all types of company. So whatever the information which is related to the fire hazard should be informed to the safety and health department, and on the basis of that information, the response to the fire department should be given by the SH department. Then some production department, uh, that whatever the production is going on, whatever the chemicals are used, whatever the process are used, whatever the process parameters, that may be a temperature, that may be a pressure, that may be a flow rate, that may be some material of construction, that may be some storage type of chemicals, etc. Whatever the parameters which is involved in the production process should be informed to the SHA department, and on the basis of that parameters, again the SHA department is going to respond to that production department. Then maintenance. So the maintenance may be a mechanical maintenance type, that may be electrical maintenance. So whatever the maintenance which is required on the daily basis in the routine during the process or after the process also, that may be a short time, that may be a permanent or breakdown maintenance, that may be online maintenance, whatever the type of maintenance, all these information should be given to this SHA department. And then whatever the type of work is there, if work permit system is required for the particular maintenance, if some confined spaces are there in the maintenance work, if some PPs are required, so whatever the information, whatever the guidelines required by this SHA department should be given to this maintenance department, and then only that maintenance work should be started. Then some instrument department or some instruments are used in the industries. So that instrument may be a temperature measuring device, that may be a pressure measuring device, that may be a flow rate measuring device, that may be some air pollutant measuring device, that may be a work monitoring system device, that may be some other systems, that may be a person monitoring, etc. So whatever the instruments which is required for measuring the parameters as per as the safety is concerned, as per as the health is concerned, as per as the environment is concerned. So all the types of instruments, their accuracy, their reference standards, all this information should be given to the safety and health department, because some of the instruments must have some specific standards, must be calibrated within a year or within half year, etc. So all these guidelines should be provided by the SHA department to the instrument department. Then purchase department, if the company is required some personal protective equipment, some fire detection systems, for fire alarm systems, some smoke detectors, some other systems that may be a CO2 bank systems, that may be some other system. So whatever the systems which is required to purchase, so all this data and the list or the inventory should be provided to the SHE department, and on the basis of the MSDS, on the basis of some standards that should be studied by the SHE department, and whether to purchase all these equipments, all these chemicals or not, or where it is possible to purchase some substitutes rather than the toxic chemicals, rather than the hazardous chemicals, some less hazardous chemical or less toxic chemicals, or low risk level or medium risk level substances, or some standard equipments or the PPEs, etc. So all these information and guidelines are going to provide by the SHE to the purchase departments. So then as far as the environment department is concerned, they are going to focus mainly on the water pollution, then air pollution, then hazardous waste management, solid waste management, then ozone layer depletion rules and regulations, then plastic rules and regulations, etc. So whatever the factors which are directly related to the environment should be followed, all the practices and the standard by this environment department, and for that purpose you should give the information, whatever the standards you are going to follow, whatever the instruments you are going to follow, whatever the reference standards you are going to follow, that may be a MPCB guidelines, that may be a MSIC 1989 rule, that may be a Air Act, that may be a Water Act, that may be a Environment Protection Act, etc. So whatever the rules and regulation and acts are going to study, so all the information should be given to the SHE department, and on the basis of this information, they may guide you, they may correct you, they may modify you in this regard. Then training departments is having some different requirement. So training may be soft training, that may be a computerized training, that may be a simulation training, that may be a offline training, that may be a mock drill, that may be a induction training. So there are different types of training which is required during the regular or routine operations. Some our trainings are required as a refresher training. So all this type of information, how much trainings and what type of trainings are required, and what is the objective of that training, and what is the target audience of the training should be informed to the SHE department. If in the trainings and in the planning is there, if there is any loopholes or if training is missing, then you have to provide the type of training, the objective of that training, and the target audience should be provided to that training department. So on the basis of this information which is going to provide by the SHE department, training department can plan, organize and execute that particular type of trainings, right? So with the help of these all departments, all the information which is collected by all department, and whatever the suggestions, guidelines given to all departments from the SHE, so all these things compilation, after compiling all these reports, can be communicated to the top management in a brief, and on the basis of this information, top management can decide, can finalizing some of the activities. So especially when the concern is related to the financial management, which is related to the new projects, some new expansion, etc., some legal requirement, then the decision of top management is the major concern. And that is why SHE and top management is always communicated, always be in touch, especially with the legal requirement, with the purchase requirement, new projects and some expansion. Okay, so this is the flow chart where you can understand the importance of effective communications with the help of other departments and top management to the SHE department. Now what is the meaning of this compilation, collation and analysis of this information? Now we have discussed about what exactly the information of SETI is related, then what are the sources of information. Now how to compile this information? So at a factory or workplace level, information of hazards and past and current accidents should be collected first with the facts and details. So what is the current data that may be related to the accident, incident, injuries, then fatal accident, then reportable, non-reportable accident, what are the causes of these accidents and hazards, what are the hazards available in the current situations, what may be the hazards available in the past, and then what are the precautionary measures we have taken on the basis of previous or the past record, and still if there is a loophole, if there is again some safeties are concerned, some performance are concerned, or some corrective action should be taken. So on the basis of that, you have to decide or you have to conclude some points. So all the information, that may be a previous information, that may be a current information. So collection of all this information, comparison of all this information for concluding remark, that is nothing but the compilation of this information, right? Then collation of information. So whatever the information you have collected should be categorized in a particular manner. That is nothing but the collation of information. So that may be in terms of major heads, that may be in terms of some subjects, that may be in terms of some categories like major hazards, minor hazards, then accidents due to persons, then accident due to technology, accident due to manual error, accident due to some other causes, etc. So these are nothing but the categories. So all this information, whatever the information is compilation in the previous step, should be collated. So that may be in terms of property losses or cost of accident, etc. So this is nothing but the collation of information. So category-wise information is the collation of information. Collection of information in a specific manner, that may be previous or current, that is nothing but the compilation, and all these information should be analyzed. So that is nothing but the analysis. So then analysis may be classified into subdivisions or subgroups to sharpen the information towards different subjects, leading to some conclusions. So analysis may be like for the accident analysis, that may be an incident analysis, that may be a reportable or non-reportable analysis, that may be a work environment analysis, that may be a air pollution analysis, that may be a water pollution analysis, that may be a effluent treatment analysis. Types of analysis are available on the basis of this, of all these types of information. Whatever the information which is related to the safety, whatever the concerns are related to the safety, health and environment, should be analyzed in that particular form to have the results under the permissible limits of that state standards or the national standards or the international standards. Then some of the examples for this compilation, collation and analysis are, so compilation, accidents of one particular year are first collected, then this is compiled, that is suppose for example the year 96, and we are going to compare this 96 accident information with 95. So whether the improvement is there in the accident control, whether the number is decreasing or increasing, whether the safety score performance indicators are improving or worsening or the constants. So whatever the information you have collected, you can compare this information from 96 as well as from the 95. Then if you want to present this data, that is compiled data, in terms of some other parameters, then you should go for the collations, right? So some committees required some data in terms of different types of accidents, that may be a mechanical accident, that may be a chemical accident. Some government agencies may require data in terms of reportable accidents, in terms of non-reportable accidents, and some of the major concerns, state level or central level concern, may require the data as a fatal and non-fatal accidents, right? That is how many deaths are occurred in that particular accident, that is called as fatal accidents. If deaths are not occurred, then it is called as non-fatal accidents. So these agencies, the auditors or some offices require some different data in a different manner, in a different categories. That is nothing but the collation of the information. Then analysis. So on the basis of this, some of the agencies may require the data male wise and female wise. Then some agencies may require the data and conclusion on the basis of day and night. Suppose if the accidents which may occur, that may be a fatal, non-fatal, reportable, non-reportable, or injuries, whatever the accident may be there. So if the accidents are mainly occur in the night shift or in the day shift, so on the basis of that, you can conclude that in the night shift, most of the safety officers or the safety officials are not available, and that is why the chances of accidents are more in the night shift. So on the basis of this data, we can conclude something. So for that purpose, we must have this data in terms of the parameters like day wise, night wise, male wise, female wise, or some different hazard or position wise. That may be a manual errors, that may be a technological error, that may be some other communication errors also. So depending on the requirement, you can analyze this type of data with the reference to the requirement. So this is the examples of this compilation, collation, and analysis of the information. Then how to store and retrieve this information. So nowadays we are knowing that we are techno savvy, we are internet savvy peoples, and that is why we are using the computers, laptops, palm tops, desktops, etc. for storing the information, because as compared to the floppies, CDs or VCDs, pen drive, server, etc., we are having more memory, we can store more data as compared to the conventional techniques, and that is why we are going to use all these latest technological changes, right? So we are not using nowadays these CDs, VCDs, and even pen drives. In some of the cases only we are going to use these pen drives, but there are some disadvantages of using these old conventional techniques, and that is why we are going to use the safety techniques like Google Drive, that may be a Google Mails, and some uh, softwares which can use this uh, techniques or software for protecting for this information from the viruses, etc. So all this information can be collected or stored in the laptops, palm tops, desktops, etc. Now, how to retrieve this information? Suppose if you are storing this information in the laptop or desktop, so you can retrieve this information from that particular drive, from that particular file, from that particular folder easily. If you want to copy and paste this information in a particular drive, in a particular device, if the device is in the network, then you can use that particular device only for copy paste purpose, and you can access that information from the other desktop or the PCs, but the condition is that the network connection or the network facility should be there in the premises in the companies. And if it is not possible, then for the other locations you can opt this information internet facility through the mails or drive, right? This Google Drive facilities, you can use this email facility, you can use these intranet facilities, etc. For sharing of this information, you can retrieve this information easily nowadays with the help of this all the technological changes. Then we know very well how to use these computers. So the updation and upgradation of all these computers and applications are going on a continuous basis, and that is why we are using the latest computers for storing and information, for processing all these informations, because this generation of computers are going to change day by day, and that is why these latest computers should be used for better use, better handling, better storing, better processing speed for the retrieval, for the storing of this data, which is related to safety, right? So if you want to calculate the safety performance indicators like um, safety score or safety performance indicators, frequency rate, severity rate, etc., or if you want to show some graphs, some tables to the top management or the middle management, So you can use the simple Excel sheet with the help of some formulas, with the help of some features of the Excels. You can easily calculate the safety performance indicators. You can easily draw the graphs. You can easily prepare the tables with the help of all the inputs which are going to provide by you only. So all these uh, outputs can be easily prepared with the help of these computers. In some of the cases, you can use the CAD softwares, CAM softwares, and DCS systems, etc., to control the effluent treatment plant, to control the sewage treatment plant, to control some of the operations, some of the activities. The DCS systems, especially used nowadays in the chemical and allied industries. Then these CAD and CAM softwares are going to use by the engineering industries, mechanical oriented industries, where you have to use these CAD CAM software for designing a product, designing a particular reactor, equipment, etc. So depending on the requirement, you can use this software for uh, solving your problems with the help of the computers only. Then you can use the safety internet systems for the automation purpose, for driving the robots, etc. So these are the different applications which is related to the computers and other electronic gadgets. So for maintaining the different environmental sampling and measuring data, because some of the monitoring or measurement is going on the daily basis, some measurements and monitoring is going on the weekly basis, etc. So depending on the requirement, depending on the standards requirement, depending on the government standards, we have to conduct all these activities. But storing all these activities, saving all these data, and retrieving all this data is difficult when you are using pen and paper or the registers and papers, etc. But it is very easy with the help of these computers. Then some safety reports, manuals, procedures, some audit points, mutual aid systems, emergency plan items can be quickly stored, updated, and reproduced. So whatever the reports, if you want to give the reports to the MOUF, to the CPCB, to the MPCB, to the DISH, etc. So you can easily prepare all these reports with the help of Microsoft Word, with the help of some other softwares, with the help of some pens or MS Excel sheets, etc. We can use all these facilities and we can generate easily these reports. You can send the reports with the help of internet facility quickly. So all these processes are going to convert in a faster speed. So with the help of some accurate measurements, with the help of some tools, you can easily represent these data with a uh, presentable tools also. Then some of the information which is related to the working condition, engineering controls, then fire and gas leak controls, administrative controls, medical controls, personal protective equipments, and then selection, training program, etc. can be stored, can be compared, can be analyzed, can be conclude, all these types. Because suppose if in the conventional systems in the past 5 to 10 years, some PPs are used from this particular manufacturer with the help of these standards, with these rates. But due in these accidents, or the accident record says that this particular PP is not as per standard, or this PP is not useful for this particular task. Then all this information can be compared easily with the help of this data or the information which is stored in that particular computer or other systems. So comparison and analysis can be done easily on with the help of these computer systems. Then keeping records of MSDS, because more than crores of chemicals are available in the world, and some of the chemicals are used in the industries, and that MSDS of each and every chemical, uh, storing information, representing this information, converting this data in the local language or in the Hindi is a difficult task, and that is why we can use these computers. We can use the some of the softwares to convert all these things, to store these things. You can print all these MSDS. You can change these MSDs as per our requirement. because some workers and helpers are required this MSDS information in brief in local language. So you can use these computer systems, you can use the internet systems for converting all these requirement. Then statistical analysis by using ready-made or self-designed softwares. So some of the industries are using Excel as a main tool. Some of the industries are developing their own software or from the third party on the requirement of their group for the requirement of their particular company, and they are using their self-designed software only. So that is dependent on the need, but you can use these softwares, internet facilities, then some ready-made tools with the help of this computer. You can easily analyze the statistical data. Then automatic printing of statutory and other safety forms. So nowadays these acts and rules and regulations, all this data is available on the websites, which is in terms of PDF documents, and these PDFs can be easily printed, and so that this information can be easily readable. Then you can use this information anytime on the computer itself, that is through the soft copy. If you want to read all these documents, you can print all these documents and study all these amendments or the major changes in that particular legal requirement, that is acts or rules. Then some automatic generation of periodical reports can be done with the help of these computers. So if you want to give this report at a particular time, if you want to generate this particular report on the basis of this data, then you can give the command, you can use some tools and buttons. With the help of that particular tools and buttons or the command, you can automatically generate some periodical report. That may be a monthly report, quarterly report, etc. Then analysis of near miss in the same details as injury accidents. So for that particular company only, this is not the essential or statutory requirement, but this is the information which is useful for study of the near miss to avoid the injury, to avoid the repetition of the near misses or the accidents in the future. So you can analyze the this near miss data with the help of computer systems easily. Then multiple records of injury reports and vehicle damage from the same accidents can be analyzed. That is nothing but the correlation parts. So after compilation of the information related to that particular accident, you can categorize all this information with the help of a simple Excel sheet, and you can sort out this information, you can separate out this information, you can analyze this information, you can give some color coding, some symbols, whatever the standards you are going to establish for your company can utilize easily with the help of these computer systems and some softwares. Then CD-ROM and player of the computer and special software on chemical hazards and control technologies are also available. The information from the disk is placed on the computer screen, convert the information in the computer can be provided on the CDs by using CD writer, etc. But nowadays we are not using these CDs, we are using some paid softwares, we are using the free softwares or freewares, we are using some videos or the video links which are provided on the website itself. So even the government agencies, state government agencies, central government agencies are also going to use these internet applications, computer applications for better communication, accurate communication and fast communications. Then use of these floppy disks, CDs, pen drives, etc. Were useful in the olden days. Nowadays we are using only the laptops, internet and other facilities. Then some database from Cameo, Kosh, Apple, etc. for the onset offset emergency plans, some safety and audit environmental audits by using a set of audit questions. But if you search on the Google, now you can identify the simple the FAQs, that is especially it is called as checklist of that safety audit, checklist for the environment audit, checklist for a particular monitoring, checklist for a particular SOPs, etc. All these things are available on the internet itself. So it is nowadays it is very easy to get this information, to get this checklist or the questionnaires. Then the ability to edit the audit questions and audit questions as a new risk are identified. So you can modify these questionnaires as per your requirement, as per your department requirement, as per your machineries or the operations requirement. The ability to add guidance for the auditors to specific questions, including details of any relevant standards. Now, with the help of these questionnaires, you can understand how the audit is going to do, how the audit is going to execute, and what are the questionnaires normally asked in the audits, in the inspections, in the monitoring, etc. And you can prepare some checklists, some questionnaires, and some answers itself before starting the actual audit also, right? So with the help of these computers, you can prepare the pre-audit information on the computer itself, and you can use this information after audit for preparing the safety audit report or safety report. Then some graphical display of audit summaries are also useful. Some automatic generation of audit report we have already discussed. Then some diary facilities to assist the managing an audit schedule, keeping track of recommendation of remedial actions are also available. Nowadays, you can use the Google Calendar. You can use the mobile calendars for reminding all these activities. That may be a audit, that may be a monitoring, that may be an inspection, that may be a routine activity, that may be a particular activity after a month, after a quarter, etc. So you can use these different calendars which are available in the mobile, which are available in the internet, that may be especially Google calendars. So the mail, the particular alarm systems can be used to recall, to remind all these activities which are already scheduled or planned. Then we must study what are the advantages and disadvantages of these computerized systems. Now we can understand from this discussion that these computer systems, internet systems, intranet systems, laptops, palm tops, etc., all these electronic gadgets are very useful to store, to retrieve, to analyze, to monitor, for the better analysis, for the improvement, for the corrective actions, etc., can be used for the betterment of the safety, for betterment of the companies, etc. Now, what are the advantages? Now, with the help of this application, you can understand these advantages. That is simple. Ready availability of the data and ready production. Printed copy can be used. You can print all this data. Elimination of monotonous or exhaustive manual labor. So there is no need of multiple people or more people should be involved in that particular task. One man or 2 to 3 people can easily handle all this data with the help of these computers and internet systems. No need to keep duplicate records or copies. Even you can use some software, that is the softwares can easily identify these duplicate copies or records, and they can allow to delete all these records. So this is available in the mobiles also, this is available in the computers also. Then reducing files and the storing capacity. So some more storing data is also, more storing capacity is also available by reducing all these duplicate records. Then improved communication with neat and clean and correct copies. So in the olden days, we are using these written copies, written communications, some registers and records, etc. So depending on the writing skill, depending on the presentation skills. So this is the time-consuming process, as well as that may not be a correct and presentable manner. But nowadays we can use these computer systems and internet facility for the clean and neat copies of the particular records or reports to submit it into the some government or non-government organizations. Then data standardization and accuracy is the major advantages. Then improved analytical capabilities. Analyze not manually, practical can be easily done by computer. Graphs and charts are also available. So accuracy is going to increase. So with the help of formulas which are used in the Excel sheet, so there is no chance of error in the calculations, but you have to give the proper information. So whatever the inputs you are going to provide, on the basis of that input, the formulas can be utilized, the graphs and charts and tables can be prepared with the help of that Excel sheets. So this is the simpler way, this is the accurate way, and this is the faster way. Then cost savings by increasing employee productivity, decreasing manpower. So you are not going to utilize much manpower for creating, analyzing, compiling all these informations. So this is nothing but the cost saving activity. Now, what are the disadvantages by using these computerized systems or some internet systems? Now, according to the circumstances, need of computer is not always justified, because some small scale companies are not having that much of capability. They are not affordable to purchase these types of computers or some softwares or some latest computers, etc. So for some of the companies, it is not affordable activity. Some of the companies, they may need some skilled manpower for that particular activity, and for that purpose, again, some initial investment or operating cost is also there. That is nothing but the electrical cost, that may be a upgradation or updatation in the computer systems or internet systems, that may be a salary of that particular skilled operator, etc. Then computers limited should be understood. They are not designed for automatic information generation or processing, because we are going to provide this information, we are going to provide these inputs. So on the basis of that input, they are going to calculate, they are going to uh, prepare these charts, tables, etc., or the reports. But if you are going to provide a wrong input, then the report or the graph or the table is also wrong. So that should be checked thoroughly. So this is the one of the limitation. Then computers can suggest references to the documents. They can't eliminate the need to go through these documents to locate the required informations. So they can suggest the references to the documents only. A typical virus can wash out all the informations. So nowadays, these are the uh, um, actually incidences which are happening in the companies. The particular typical virus can wash out all the informations which is stored in the particular disk, in the particular drive, or in the computer itself. So mainly when we are using the internet facility, through the internet from some of the websites which are restricted website, but if you are going to allow these websites to open, then some viruses can enter to your computer, and these viruses can wash out or delete all the informations, which is very important for you. And again, creating or preparing this information is very difficult task. Then manpower reduction for an unemployment. So that is another disadvantage from these computer systems, because when we are using these computers, internet systems, robot systems, artificial intelligence systems, uh, that is technological changes, then obviously manpower reduction is the major concern. So these are the different advantages and disadvantages of the computer systems. Now, what are the hazards related to these computer systems? So there are different hazards, and mainly that is a health hazard and some ergonomics. Especially when we are talking about these computer systems, some ergonomic problem may arise due to these computer utilizations. In some of the cases, some computer room should not be too noisy, too warm, too cool, or unpleasant, humid, congested, or poorly lighted. So ventilation should be properly provided. That illumination or light system should be provided. The comfortable atmosphere should be there. The temperature should be controlled. That is a comfortable temperature from 25 to 30 degrees Celsius is the comfortable temperature. So that should be maintained. The temperature should not be too low, should not be too high. And if the computer rooms or the computer systems or some administrative offices is too noisy, then due to the irritations, due to the adverse impact of this noise, some errors or the manual mistakes may be a chance. Then radiation from screen, that is one of the major concern, especially when you are using these computers on a daily basis or on a continuous basis. So when you are talking about the IT industry, when we are talking about the electronics industry, when we are talking about the administrative offices, then this is the major concern, because nowadays we are using only computers or laptops or mobiles for working from home as well as in the offices also. So this is one of the concern. These radiations are hazardous for our eyes. Then this is the, and bad contrast can cause eye fatigue, headache. Some anti-glare screen or auto glare removal device is useful. So to control these radiations or to control this bad contrast, you can use the auto glare uh, screens which are already available in the market. Then some psychological problems like monotonous work, continuous work, same work on a continuous basis. So some fatigues can be developed. That is called as psychological problems. In isolation positions, in waiting times, intense concentrations may also rise. So some people are doing continuous and same work for many hours on a particular location only. So that should be avoided. So good design and layout of computer rooms, equipments, fire protection systems, record protections, utilities protections, and safe storage practices are necessary to control these type of psychological problems or the hazards. A study report of Davis School of Medicine in the USA suggests that there are different hazards like pain in waist, shoulders and necks, tension on eyes, legs, pain due to wrong gestures and postures, because there are some guidelines how to use this computer for hours, how to uh, use these computer screens, which types of screens, what is the minimum distance to maintain between the eyes and the screen, what should be your gesture and posture, what is your body position, what is your hand position, what is your forearm positions, what is your finger positions. All these guidelines are provided. If these guidelines are not going to follow, then these type of hazards or difficulties can be arises like pain in waist, shoulders and neck, tension on eyes, legs, and etc. So some of the reports, some of the studies can suggest all these activity, and these activities and studies are already studied in most of the countries, and that is called as ergonomic study. And that is why there is a concept that is called as workstation in the ergonomic area. So if you are going to use the computer systems, laptop systems on a continuous basis in a single place only, then you have to design your table, your chair, your monitor systems, and all these facilities, and that is called as workstations. So you have to design your workstation, or a standard workstation should be designed by the companies for all types of worker. It is also reported that using a computer mouse for a long time exposes some people to carpal tunnel pressure levels that may be a lead to a repetitive strain injury to the wrist and hand. And this was said by David Rampel, a director of the ergonomics program at UC San Francisco. So some of the studies again are going to focus on the some systems, that is CTS, that may be a MSD, that may be a RTF. So what these diseases are, we will discuss later on. This is nothing but the hazards which are health hazard computer systems. So what is CVS, that is computer syndrome. So if you are not going to follow the guidelines, like the monitor should be kept at 10 to 15 degree below the angle of eye level. If you are not going to follow these guidelines, like the distance between the screen and face must be 20 to 28 inches, then you may have this eye strain. So this eye strain is mainly due to monochromatic light or a burden of glare on eye. So that may be due to bad contrast, that may be a more brightness, etc. That may be a continuous work on the screen itself. So this is eye strain, and this eye strain is called as computer vision syndrome. So you may have a problem in the vision, and due to this computer application or utilizations on a continuous basis with the wrong guidelines and wrong gestures and postures, this is called as CVS. So hand below to the elbow should remain parallel on computer table and fingers on the keyboard. So some guidelines Some ergonomical gestures and postures are also available on the websites also, and some specific guidelines are also given how to use the computers or laptops. Table and chair should be fully flexible so as to rearrange as per requirement, because some people are having good height, some people are having less height, some people are having more weight, some people are having light weight. So depending on the body, depending on their heights, depending on the weight, you can uh, change the chair positions on the basis of the requirement, and that is why this table and chair arrangement should be flexible. Some video should be so placed that the sight will fall on the correct place on the screen. Computer screen should remain below the eyes, so that the eyes and this screen should be having a minimum distance to avoid the stress or the eye strain due to this screen brightness or the bad contrast. Then operators having sitting work and standing work should be interchanged by jaw rotations. And this will relax the contracted muscles and maintain the body tone up. So rotation is one of the solutions to control this CVS. Then eye should be examined by the ophthalmologist for the internal defects if any, and especially precautions should be taken care when your age is 40 plus. Then lighting, shining and color have also some effects. They should not be excessive. At every 15 to 30 minutes, I should be turned away from the screen to see a sight, to take rest, raise or move hands, press fingers, etc. So you have to do some other activities by avoiding the repetition of that same activities. So that is one of the solutions for this CVS. Working hours on computer should be reduced with increasing age or difficulty. So as age is increasing, or if you're having some serious problem, then you should reduce your duration of utilization of these computers. What are the causes of these MIS failures? So we have discussed about these all types of parameters which is related to the MIS. So there may be some causes of MIS failure: insufficient, incorrect or ambiguous information, no two-way communications, confused reporting, poor exchange of information, poor system of communication, insufficient employee involvement, untrained employees, no system of feedback receiving for the improvement of MIS, no advanced planning to meet the controlled emergencies, no advanced planning for protection of MIS. Example: steps to prevent virus in the computer. Such causes should be detected and removed as early as possible. So two-way communication is the important thing. Then some inputs, wrong inputs may be provided to the computers. Then reports may be confused, or wrong results and conclusions may be there. Some poor exchange of information and communication may be possible due to wrong practices, and due to not available antivirus protection, that virus may vanish your all informations which is under the MIS system. So these are the different causes of MIS failures. So some status and future goals of computer utilizations in the SFG services. Now we are knowing about these facilities, and the latest facility may be available in the future, that some robots, some computer systems, some automatic generation systems, some latest generation computers, some palm tops, some laptops, some mobiles are can be utilized as a computer system itself. And nowadays these mobiles are having good RAM and ROM, good speed, good storing facilities. All these are the main and advanced technologies which can be used for MIS for safety management systems in the future. Thank you.